So you've outsourced your payroll to a PEO, right? You're thinking, great, no more tax headaches. But what if I told you that in the eyes of the IRS, you might still be 100% on the hook? Yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, it seems like such a simple question, doesn't it? You hired a company to handle your taxes, so you should be totally in the clear. But that one simple assumption, that's exactly what can lead to an absolute nightmare scenario with the IRS.
So you might be wondering, why do so many businesses fall into this trap in the first place? Well, it all starts with a problem that every single business owner knows all too well. You're responsible for withholding taxes, paying them on time, filing all the right paperwork. It's a massive administrative headache. And it's pulling you away from what you should be doing, which is, actually running your business.
Okay, so to get rid of this giant headache, a lot of businesses turn to what seems like the perfect solution, a professional employer organization, or a PEO for short. And honestly, on the surface, it really does look like the ultimate fix.
So what is a PEO? Basically, it's a third-party firm that you contract with to take over a bunch of your employer duties. We're talking payroll, benefits administration, and, this is the big one, they promise to handle all your tax payments. It really does sound like a complete all-in-one solution, doesn't it?
And this next part is exactly where that false sense of security really kicks in. See, the PEO pays your employees and files the employment tax returns, like the Form 941, but they do it using their own employer ID number, not yours. This creates this powerful illusion that, hey, they're the employer of record now. You can finally kick back and relax. But here's the twist, and this is the trap that every single business owner has to understand. There's this huge, massive gap between what a PEO agreement seems to promise and what the law actually says.
And this slide just gets right to the heart of the problem. Your PEO is promising, don't worry, we handle your payroll taxes. But the reality, according to the IRS, is nope. Legally, you are still responsible. Because here's the kicker. Unless some very, very specific legal conditions are met, the ultimate responsibility for those taxes, it never actually leaves your desk.
Okay, so to really understand why that is, we need to talk about this key term, the common law employer. The IRS defines this as the person or business that directs and controls the work of an employee. Think about it. Even if a PO is cutting the checks, you're the one telling your team what to do, when to show up, and how to do their job. And in the eyes of the IRS, that makes you the real employer.
The IRS has a really specific way of looking at this. They see most PEOs as just a conduit for funds. You give them the money, and they just pass it along to your employees. Because of that, the PEO doesn't have what's legally required, which is exclusive control over the wage payments. And without that exclusive control, guess what? The tax liability never legally shifts away from you, the common law employer.
Now you might be thinking, but wait, my contract says they're a co-employer. Well, about that. The IRS has a very direct, no-nonsense take on this. Quoting them here, the code does not define the term co-employer, and the concept is not recognized under federal tax law. It's just a term in your contract. It has zero power to change your fundamental tax liability.
So let's just cut to the chase. Here's the crucial point. If your PEO fails to pay the taxes, maybe they mess up, maybe they go out of business, the IRS isn't going after them. They are coming directly for you. As the common law employer, you are on the hook for everything. We're talking all the unpaid taxes, plus all the penalties and interest. It can be financially devastating.
Now, this whole problem became so widespread, with so many businesses getting caught in this liability trap, but the government finally had to step in. They needed to create a formal and, frankly, a much safer alternative. You can actually see the path to protection right here on this timeline. Before 2014, it was just widespread confusion. Then, in 2014, Congress passed a law that authorized the IRS to create a real PEO certification program. And finally, in 2016, the IRS actually started accepting applications. This was a direct response to fix this problem, once and for all.
And this whole process created something new, the Certified Professional Employer Organization, or CPEO. Now, a CPEO is not just any old PEO. This is a PEO that is applied for and actually met a whole bunch of really rigorous standards set by the IRS. We're talking deep dives into their finances, their background, their reporting, the whole shebang.
And this right here, this is the absolute game changer. A certified PEO is legally treated as the employer for the wages it pays to your employees. This isn't just a promise in a contract anymore. This is now part of the law, specifically IRC Section 3511. So what does that mean for you? It means that with a CPO, the liability for federal employment taxes on the wages they pay, it officially shifts from your business over to them. This is the real legal protection and the peace of mind that business owners were looking for in the first place.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you and your business? It means that protecting your business is all about due diligence. Seriously, it's non-negotiable. Whether you're using a regular PEO or a CPEO, you absolutely have to stay on top of things. The IRS actually lays out some clear red flags or issue indicators to watch for. For instance, if you're not getting copies of the employment tax returns that are being filed for you, that's a red flag. If your contract is super vague about who's responsible for taxes, red flag. Or if you see payroll funds getting transferred from your account to some other third party, or wages aren't being paid from your business's bank account, these are all huge warning signs.
So let's talk about 3 simple steps you can take to stay safe. Number 1, verify their certification. Go to the official IRS public list online and check if your provider is actually a CPEO. Number 2, demand records. You need to insist on getting copies of all filed tax returns, like that Form 94-1. And number 3, review your contracts. Go back and scrutinize that service agreement to understand exactly who is liable for what.
You know, the ultimate takeaway here is pretty simple. The IRS itself advises you to use due diligence not just in the selection of a third-party payroll service, but in the continuing use of one. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal.
And that really brings us to the final, crucial question. It's the one we want to leave you with. After all of this, does your payroll agreement actually protect you,